hello, and welcome to another episode of Keep It Moving podcast. I am your host, Novelty. And joining me today is Mike B.
What to do?
How you do? How do you do?
What?
How's it going?
Pretty good. Calm down. Like, that was loud.
You gotta any other time, I'm not loud.
I will just turn you down. How about that?
How was your St. Patrick's Day?
You were there, so
I can still ask you how it was. The people weren't there.
I know. So how about let's talk about what we did on St. Patrick's Day. I did have to go to work, but after that we went and played pinball.
Yes.
It really wasn't that many people there. I expected a lot more people. But I guess they were all maybe drunk since most bars open at 7 on St. Patrick's Day. I know the bar I usually go to, they were opening at 7, serving like alcohol infused pancakes and eggs, and I'm like, I don't really know how that would work with my stomach.
No.
It didn't sound good at all.
I didn't get a green drink.
I know you didn't ask for a drink at all.
I mean, but they could have made like my water green. They could have, give me a green soda of sorts.
Oh, this sounds gross. Gross.
Green drink. Well, green beer, that doesn't sound gross to you? That sounds so gross to me.
Oh, well, it's beer.
It's green.
So it's killing all whatever they put in there. Food coloring.
Food coloring? There's nothing to kill in food coloring. It has no
taste. You never know.
Anywho.
But it was fun. A lot of fun.
Cool.
And I'm even better at pinball, if you ask me. You tried.
I haven't played for a long time, so
yeah.
And then even when I used to play, it wasn't like I played a lot.
Yeah, you were horrible. Fun. You were horrible.
How would you know?
I'm just saying the other day you were horrible.
Well,
but it was fun. I like winning.
To do.
It was something to do.
And yes, you like winning, so win while you can, because eventually I will get better.
Right on.
And then your ass is mine.
Did you cuss?
Just a little bit. I tried to whisper it.
I bet you the mic picked that up.
Anywho, I want to get into it because we got a lot going on. And we're going to first start with Agent Orange, try to get through him real quick so we don't bore the people. Mm-hmm. So first, let's take a moment to rejoice in the defeat of Agent Orange's first attempt to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, or what they call it,
coining
Obamacare.
Right.
Their bill was officially pulled Friday. So, woohoo!
But I read an article where they were, I guess, back in talks about it today. There was a meeting with the faction in the Republican Party at the White House with Trump and Bannon. And I don't think that meeting went too well, but we'll see what comes of this. I guarantee you they're not going to stop trying.
No, they're not going to stop trying. Not at all. Don't expect them to. Don't expect them to stop trying on any of their agendas. But just so far, his travel ban has been
shot down.
Boop. His
twice.
Repeal and Replace.
Shot down.
Boop. So far.
By his own people, which is
right. That's the funny part. And he blamed the Democrats, but
somehow
yet they got the House, they got the Senate, they got the White House.
Yeah, alternative facts.
Really. So, but he Trump 3 or Trump 0.
Everybody
else 3.
The Americans.
So now that's enough said about that.
Mm-hmm.
We do need to prepare for their next piece of foolishness because it's coming. So get your dialing fingers ready, get your hands ready to type, fingers ready to write letters, make sure your phone's working. Get ready to reach out to your congressman to make sure they are doing what it is needed to stop the next round, whether it be another round of repeal and replace or this lovely budget that he has put in front of all of us, or any of his other ideas that are just plumb dumb stupid. So just remember, you want to get out there, talk to your congressman. You also want to employ your congressman to create some type of staff that comes back to you. We hire them to speak for us. Yeah. So we need them to come back to us and explain in layman's terms what the bills mean, what's going on, what's in them. So you want to make sure you call your congressman and ask him to make sure that happens.
There's a lot of communication,
right?
That you can understand.
There you go. And that's it. You can understand, not they terms. Because even when I tell you to go to congress.gov to take a look at what's going on, the bills that are on the floor, Some of those bills can be difficult to read.
Right, and very convoluted.
Right.
And they want them to be that way because they don't want you to see all the stuff that they've hidden in those bills, which are the reason that they were passed in the first place.
Which is why your congressman needs to be the one to
explain,
decipher that.
Yeah.
So make sure
and
you
also be able to explain why they decided to go along to vote yes or vote
right,
no.
Definitely,
if
they voted on something in a way you don't like, you need to know why.
Right.
You need to know if something was stuck in a bill that you weren't aware of or that would cause bigger problems on this side. I mean, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on. They hide stuff in those bills, and if the one person signs off on it, although it looks like it's a great thing, they're signing off on some hidden agenda too.
The issue though that comes with that, like, I understand you saying get the congressman to explain things to you, but look at what we're dealing with, these days with these congressmen, especially with a lot of the Republicans who are basically giving their constituents alternative facts and pushing them out there as if they're gospel. You need somebody else. You need a third party to, interpret what your congressman isn't telling you. So I wouldn't even trust talking to the congressman.
Well, if the
you can voice your opinion.
If I voted my congressman in and I believe in him, then yeah, I'm going to trust that congressman. If I didn't vote that congressman in and that congressman lies to me and gives me alternative facts, guess what? He's out in 4 years.
If you don't know any better,
but eventually you will.
It'll come to light.
Eventually, right? What's done in the dark always comes to light.
Okay.
So eventually you'll find out, and when you find out, he no longer has your vote. Once you find out that congressman lied to you.
But the problem is, like in Kansas, we got a Republican, congressman, and I didn't vote his ass in. He can lie to me all day. He's also lying to the Republican constituents, and they're believing him, so they'll be likely to put him back in that position. Not caring.
All you can do is continue to fight the fight, and
that's true.
You sit up there and say, "Hey, everybody, get out and vote, and go vote yourself."
Yeah.
So we got to really keep in mind. When it comes to voting, African Americans especially, we just don't get out and do it.
Right.
For years, we've voted at 40%, 40%. The 2 times we voted at 70%, who got in office? Obama. What happens when Hillary runs? We go right back down to 40%. So we don't vote. We don't get out there and vote. We fuss about it all the time. We fuss about the conditions that we're forced to live in and all these things, but we don't participate in the democracy system. So we got to get out there and participate. Even if we lose in that first battle,
that doesn't mean you stop
fighting. That don't mean stop. Right. Get back out there, do it again. Tell everybody else. If you wanted the 60% that's not voting, tell some of the other 60% that's not voting, hey, get out and vote. When we get up and we start getting out and we start voting, then we'll have a bigger voice.
Right.
And we actually do make change. We saw that in 2008. We saw that in 2012. We do create change. We just got to get out there and do it. So now, the other thing we need to seriously start talking about, and I mean seriously start talking about, is impeachment. I mean, we have a president who's in the middle of a serious FBI investigation, has been since July. That was before the election. That was before he took office. They have been investigating.
Can you call it a serious investigation with the FBI when the FBI played a part in getting him elected?
Good question.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it should be looked at as a serious, situation.
I don't know if they're doing their part seriously, but regardless, he has been under investigation by the FBI since July for his collusion with Russia, him and his campaign. So this is going on. And now just here, was it yesterday, the Democratic Republican, or not Democratic Republican, the House Democrat, Adam Schiff, he said there was more than just circumstantial evidence of collusion between the Trump team and Russia. So there's a problem here. And at this point, we have to at least do something to say, hold on, put the brakes on everything. This man should not be making decisions while he's under this investigation.
Who's gonna say that?
Congress
is not going to say anything.
I didn't say Congress. I said we. We have a voice. We must use our voice. Get on the phone, start talking to congressmen. On the phone.
You can get on the phone. You can talk to them. That's not going to make them do anything.
But you know what? We showed our voice with those travel bans. That first ban, the reason it went to a judge, the reason all of that happened, and
because
it got
we showed
shut
up
down
and showed out.
Because we showed up and showed out.
Yeah.
We showed our voice on day one when them Republicans tried to kill their own ethics committee.
Right.
Okay. We showed up, we showed out, and they stopped. So
I feel like this is different
voice.
because there has been so many times he's done so much to where an investigation should have started a long time ago, but it didn't.
Did.
No.
According to the FBI, it started in July.
I don't believe it. I don't believe anything they say.
And I get it. I get it's hard to believe, but we have got to open our mouths and we got to say, okay, it's time to get him out of there. We got to speak up. And until we do, I believe we can. And until I see that we have tried and we can't, then I'm not going to believe anything different, because we showed up and showed out on the first day when the Republicans came in. We showed up and showed out on that travel ban. We need to show up and show out here. We need to let them know this man is under investigation. I do not feel safe with him as my commander in chief right now, because I don't know what's going on between him and Russia. This is not France. This is not England. This is Russia, our number one enemy since as long as I can remember. World War I, World War II. Russia has always been on the opposite side of us. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden,
we cool.
We in bed with them? Not just cool.
Yeah.
So I'm very uncomfortable. We got Manafort. He was paid $12.7 million. And his sole purpose was to create a better rapport between Russia and America. And he's Trump's top guy during the campaign. Mm-hmm. This is a problem.
So he was the one who was in Trump's ear, caressing this relationship.
Yes. Mm. And then comes out Flynn working for Turkey. Now, he's not working for America. He's working for Turkey. Now, I don't know that we have issues with Turkey, but you're supposed to be America first, not Turkey first.
Right.
Unless you sitting down to Thanksgiving dinner, maybe.
Listen to you.
But we got to do something. So we got to start opening our mouths here. So next thing I want to go through real quick is undercover government. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all something that's going on under the sheets that we don't know about every week, or at least what's happening in Congress while we seeing this stupidity go on TV.
Right.
So while Trump sit here and lied about his tapped wires and lied about information from Russia and him and all of this collusion going on, this is what happened. Trump care failed. Woohoo! Representative Conyers introduced a bill to expand and improve Medicaid for all. And he's, of course, a Democrat. Mm-hmm. And electronic devices larger than a cell phone have been banned from international airlines from 7 different countries. Okay. Several other things have happened throughout the week. If you want to know about it, go to congress.gov and check it out and see for yourself what's going on. But these are the top 3 things that have been happening while we've been bombarded with a bunch of BS.
Yeah, investigating the Obama wiretap.
Right.
Of Trump Towers.
Right.
Yeah.
So keep in mind also that we're coming up on midterm elections. Mm. Go out, vote, 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 vote. That's all I can say. Get out, vote, talk to your friends, get them out, vote. Somebody can't get to the polls, take them to vote.
And then there's a lot of times when it's voting time, you know, they offer like free rides to the polls. So make sure you take advantage of that.
A lot of taxi services offer that.
Right.
Definitely take advantage of that. Also, if you have elderly people or people who are housebound, things like that, who do not have, especially in Missouri now, because there's a new law that we have to have identification to vote. So people who don't have identification, take them to the DMV. Help them get what they need to get to vote. For people who are elderly, housebound, can't get out, make sure you contact your voter registration centers, and find out exactly what needs to be done so you're prepared and they're prepared to vote. Make sure everybody's vote counts.
Yeah, whether it's early voting or absentee, vote by mail, absentee ballots or whatever, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, get out there and vote. Now, with that said, I'm done with Trump. Let's talk about these missing DC girls.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. It seems like, do we know if they are missing or if they ran away? Like, nobody's really covering it from what I can tell.
Okay, so this is what has happened. An Instagram post went out claiming that 14 girls had disappeared from DC in 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And that post was inaccurate. But that is the post that went viral. Uh-huh. So first and foremost, let me say, to every celebrity, to every pseudo celebrity, to every non-celebrity, everybody who posted that and repetitively did it. Let me first and foremost say thank you, because regardless of anything, when we see missing children, we need to be telling each other about it. And this is a good thing. This is a good way the internet works. This is a good way social media works.
Right.
We need to share those things. Unfortunately, in this case, it was kind of fake news. What happened was DC started using Twitter in their efforts to locate missing children. And so they started posting pictures of children that were missing.
Okay.
And somebody pulled together an image, a composite of these 14 black girls and posted it. Now, from what they're saying, since March 19th, they've shared 20 missing person flyers on Twitter. 10 of these people were juveniles as of Friday. 6 of the juveniles had been found and 4 were still missing. So while every single missing person is important, every single solitary one of them is important, it's not 14. The number is, that drastic number is a lot less.
10 is just as drastic as 14. So
no, 4 are still missing. 10
but
of them
I'm saying
when
they started sharing this, were those people already found?
No, they were already found.
So yes, they were already found.
Yeah, they were found.
Okay.
4 were the ones that were missing.
Okay.
At the time. And like I said, no one, I mean, even one is too many. But let's be honest. Let's not spread fake news.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but if those people at one point were from this website, got it from DC Twitter, they were missing. And if you didn't get the update that they were found, you're not really purposely spreading fake news.
No, but whoever put this composite together, that was not, they were missing at one point, but by that time they had been found.
So you said they should have did their research and then figured out whether they were found. When you put
a composite together, when you take the time to pull 14 flyers and put them all together in one big thing to share, you should do your research. No matter who you are, you should do your research.
But if you think about it, they're getting these composites, I'm assuming, from the Twitter.
They are.
So the tweet should have been taken down and they wouldn't have, had this issue.
You can't, once a tweet's up there, it's up there.
You can delete a tweet.
You can delete a tweet, but who shared it since then? Come on now. Once something goes on the internet, it's there. And who says they got it from Twitter? I don't know.
I know. I'm just saying I appreciate what they did.
And that's
even though it came
like
out.
Like I said, do not misunderstand.
Yeah.
For everybody who shared this, thank you.
Yeah. You said that at first, but now you're fussing.
No, I'm not fussing.
You're not trying to.
You're not going to let me get this out, are you? What I'm trying to say is, for those people who are putting these composites and things together, first of all, do the research before you hit the send button. Make sure you're putting out the proper information. Secondly, from that point on, once it gets out there, you also need to be vigilant, just like we are. Before I say something, I do my research. And then when we find out things later on afterwards, hey, you know what? This situation is taken care of. I'll say, so be vigilant and saying, hey, this one was found. This one was found. And the only reason I'm saying that is because now you've got LL Cool J, you've got Sanaa Lathan, you've got the guy who owns TMZ. Everybody
Harvey.
Is up in arms and they're coming out, 14 girls missing. Everybody's talking about trafficking of young black girls. And DC police are saying, no, this is not happening. So another story is coming out on that. When you want to provide news from the source. So first, definitely cite everything you provide, but also be vigilant. Just take the extra step to make sure you're getting it right. So your positive news and your positive movement doesn't become negative, because now the DC police are having to fight something that doesn't exist. And that takes
if 4 girls are missing, there's still an issue. I understand what you're saying. I'm just providing my commentary.
No, you're telling me the 4 girls missing is not the issue. They're fighting that issue. But now on top of that issue, they have to deal with other things. They got to deal with parents all rushing down to the police department, worried about whether or not their children are going to be grabbed, worrying about whether or not they in a sex ring. They have
those are
manpower,
all important things to worry about.
but they have manpower. Having to deal with something that they would not have to deal with had the accurate story been told. That's what I'm saying. There are other things that they got to worry about as well. People die, people get shot, people get murdered, people get robbed. There is a lot of things going on, a lot of things on the police plate. To have to deal with a story that is not true is a problem. Let them deal with the things that are really happening, not the fake news. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so all the teens have been reported missing in 2017 voluntarily left. So these were not teens who were snatched out of their bed. These were I hate to say runaways, but if you want the link to my story, I'll give it to you.
The 4 that are still missing, we don't know if they were taken or.
They say all the teens were who left. In 2017, they were voluntary. Or that did not come out right. But it says all of teens who have been reported missing in 2017 left voluntarily. So unless those 4 teens were prior to 2017, because this was 2 juvenile cases remain open as of March 24th. So I don't know if they necessarily happened in 2017. Those 4 could have happened prior to 2017. I'm not sure. But just be aware that there is a problem. Thank you. I still say thank you to those who put it out there. That's the way social media is supposed to work. But those who are putting it together, we got to be a little bit more careful.
If you say so. Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Really?
All it takes is a 1 click to share, just in case. It's a just in case share.
I can't talk to you no more.
It's okay.
Sage Steele.
Yes.
You know who she is?
No. I've heard the name before.
Well,
and you sent me a story where she was claiming racism or something like that.
I don't really know who she is.
Okay.
I know she got something to do with ESPN, so I don't know. If she's
maybe she was a commentator or something like that.
I have no clue. But what she did when the first travel ban was enacted, the day of chaos and all the different protests, she went on Instagram and she says, so this is why thousands of us dragged luggage nearly 2 miles to get to LAX, but still missed our flights. Fortunately, a 7-hour wait for the next flight to Houston won't affect me that much, but my heart sank for the elderly and parents with small children who did their best to walk all that way, but had no chance of making their flights. I love witnessing people exercise their right to protest, but it saddened me to see the joy on their faces knowing that they were successful in disrupting so many people's travel plans. Yes, immigrants were affected by this as well. Brilliant.
Oh, so the whole immigration thing was like an afterthought. She was just complaining because she missed her flight.
Pretty much.
That sounds so insensitive and selfish and self-centered. Well, I mean,
I'm not disputing that at all. Not at all.
Okay.
It kind of ticked me off.
I mean, I can understand her being frustrated. This isn't something that you go and you post. You handle that internally,
right?
Because you know it's going to be some backlash.
I'm trying to get somewhere, and all these people are in the way. Especially if I didn't know what was going on. All these people, I get that. But the moment you find out what's going on, the first thing in your mind through your mind should have been, "Oh, okay."
I get it. You know. And plus, if you didn't have the money or the resources to change and switch to a later flight, then I can see you being even more upset. But you got your ass home, didn't you, or wherever you was going?
She was worried about elderly and
no, she wasn't.
People with small children.
Nope. She was
having to deal with
she
this.
She threw that in there to try and humanize her
even
tweet.
Even if she was. No. The reality is the elderly and small children that had to wait 7 hours to get home, they got home. What about those people outside this country who couldn't get in?
That live here, that couldn't get home.
That went and left and went out of town and put their little dog in the kennel. that got the neighbor kind of keeping an eye, stop their mail, and now they can't get home. Mail's about to start. They got to be at work. Poor dog don't have a place to stay no more. What about them?
She don't care.
And it was elderly, and that happened to elderly and small children too. So that's where
it's
all
insensitive
of this.
But we get the same things when, there's like a planned Black Lives Matter or a different type of protest. You get the people like, I'm going to run them over or whatever, because they need to get where they want to go. And they don't care about the protest or what you guys are, or, your issue. It ain't my issue. So why should I be concerned?
Basically, that's what she says to me. She said to me, it ain't my issue, so why should I be concerned?
And and the immigrants were affected. Yeah.
So that's where I saw all of this backlash start. I don't know if it started prior to this with her. I don't know if this is something she's known for. I don't know, but that's where I noticed her name start popping up.
Okay.
And I started noticing a bunch of backlash toward her. And then they started talking about race with her. And she says, there are times that I believe that we as African Americans can be hypocritical, and that is not, that don't make sense. Oh, and that is not to look ourselves in the mirror when we are saying certain things and blaming other groups for one thing when we are doing the exact same thing. The worst racism that I have received as a biracial woman married to a white man, and I mean thousands and thousands over the years, is from Black people who, in my mind, thought would be the most accepting because there has been that experience. I admit that don't make sense to me either, but anyway.
Well, she said, in her mind, she thought that they would be accepting of her situation.
But even as recent as the last couple of weeks, the words that I have been thrown at me, I can't repeat here, and it's 99% of the people with my skin color. But if a white person said those words to me, what would happen? Well, first and foremost, if a white person says those words to you, what would happen? You have to make that determination.
Right.
I
Just
can't
like
tell
you can
what
decide what you do when Black people say it to you. You could either accept it or you can reject it. And then, where do you go from there?
I understand to some degree what she's saying, because we do have a way of, especially Black women, seeing y'all, our lovely, beautiful Black men married to white women. We can get a little pissed off about it.
Right.
We can get angry, and we can
I don't know if
flip the script.
Guys, I don't know if we see the same thing. Like if we see a Black woman with a white guy, I don't really think too much of it.
I don't think when it comes to that, I don't even think her backlash is coming from men at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I
like
think
women.
it's coming from Black women.
Okay.
Tamara Mowry, she's one of the twins from Sister Sister.
Right.
She married a white man, and she got she says she hurt so bad she would cry when she would see the tweets after she posted pictures of her white husband, because people were so mean to her because she married a white man. Now, in her case, I kind of let that fly because the girl's daddy's white. She knows nothing but white and Black marriage. I expect that from her.
Okay.
Her sister's married to a Black man. There's no, it doesn't seem like there's a preference there. She's dated Black and white men, or Black men before. I don't know if white men, but she's dated Black men before. Her sister's dated white men. That's not a big deal to them. That, there's never really been a big preference with them. What I hate to see is a Black man that refuses to date a Black woman. I don't care if you marry the person you choose ends up being from a different race. But when you refuse to date a Black woman, that's where I have a problem.
And I think most Black women express or share those sentiments.
So,
especially when they hear, the reasons behind it and how we just are so
the BS behind it, and that's what it is. So I can understand that. And so I see where she's coming from with that. I also see that sometimes we can be hypocritical. Sometimes we can sit up and say, oh, no, you can't do that to us, but then turn around and do it to each other.
Right. And me and my friend Nisha, we often have conversations like this. One recently when we were talking about the website Black People Meet, and how if white people had the same website, White People Meet or White Entertainment Television, we would be up in arms, ready to protest, and like that's not right. But
but for us it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I do believe for us it's okay for a lot of reasons.
Right.
There's a long laundry list of reasons. But the point is, sometimes when the tables are turned on us, we act like, oh, we're so appalled, but flip it around. we just as bad.
Right.
So I can see where she's coming from. However, if that had anything to do with that tweet, I don't think so. That's not an excuse. Black people came down on you, and I hope white people came down on you, green people, purple people, red people, orange people, because what you did was wrong.
The people who were at the protest were of all colors.
Of all colors.
So I can't imagine it being, and I can't really even imagine it being because of that. I feel like it would have had to come from somewhere else, like a different conversation, because the context doesn't make sense to me. I would really like to know what made her, say this. And I think I would have more respect for her response. Now, this is her personal experiences, so I can't really knock her for feeling this way if this is what she went through. But it's almost like she was trying to justify some of the things that we go through because we're hypocrites. Well, and that's kind of what, how I see it. And
I think the thing that bothered me most, after she said what she said, because I can understand, you married to a white man, I can see that backlash coming at you. I feel
like you should expect people to feel some type of way about this situation, considering our history.
My white grandmother and my black grandfather were married, and the first thing I asked was, how was it growing up? Did you all experience prejudice? And it's like, yeah, of course. Right. No big deal. For him, it was no big deal. It was expected. So how can you, things have not changed that much. So to me,
but people would like to believe that things have changed. We have progressed.
But not that much. And this lovely new administration has proven that it is not that much.
But this administration is being constructed off of people who lived through that.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So of course we're going to get those same
same sentiment. Rewind. We back in the 60s. So you should have. To me, it's just not. I don't understand the two. I get her point. I don't know where it came from. I pray for her. I hope you figure it out, because I think she's got a lot of internal struggles within herself. And then also she did say she was a mixed child. So she's got struggles within herself anyway, because society has made being mixed confusing, or not confusing, but hard throughout history. It's been difficult, and it hasn't changed. Unfortunately,
that started back in slavery when we were separated.
Right.
The light-skinned people were in the houses.
And not only that, when they made those babies, they called them mulattoes, and everything. The white people treated them like crap. Black people treated them like crap. And to some degree, that still goes on to this day.
Right.
But
the whole team light skin, team dark skin thing that we do to each other.
But we have to remember and realize a lot of that is from prejudice. We have got to overcome that. That's one of those things we as a people have got to work on. So some of what she's saying is true. But
I will admit that I am harder on black people than I am anybody else. And I was thinking I was talking to one of my old coworkers today.
You're very difficult on me.
Oh no, you asked for it though. But I feel like in a work situation, I would be more mindful if I see one of my brothers doing something wrong, or like you coming in late or something like that. I'd be more mindful to speak to them like, hey man, is everything okay? Because I'm looking out for them in this position. I don't want them to lose their job or whatever. Other people, I'm just like, hey, it is what it is. You can do whatever. But I feel like I care more about my people. And don't want them to be looked on as like a stereotype or whatever.
Well, and the reality is we have to work harder, unfortunately.
Oh, most definitely. That was another thing we talked about today.
When we sit here and we see one of us slacking off, we know you're not going to have a job. You're not going to be able to feed your family. This is about, we're trying to help you because we already know the deal. You the first one out the door.
Right. With or without an excuse.
Right.
Especially in Kansas.
Right.
But,
Definitely.
It may come off as me, trying to attack and being hard on my brothers, but I feel like if I don't say anything to you, you don't want them to say, something to you, because then that's when the papers start.
Right.
And right. I'm just looking out.
And I think the biggest thing that bothered me as I was researching exactly her exact words, Breitbart ran the story.
Of course.
I'm thinking,
of course.
Goodness. Really? And I clicked on it and I was like, oh, why did I do that?
I wouldn't even want to give them the click.
I don't want to give them the click.
Right.
So I immediately left. But they got the click already and got it from a different source. But and plus, they're not a trusted source for me. So But anyway, anywho, moving on. Now, I did say I was done with Trump, but I'm a little done and a little not done. And this is why. So, have you seen the Snoop video?
Oh yeah, we watched it right before the show.
Okay.
But I had seen only the clip of the whole the clown dressed like Donald Trump or whatever, and the gun, the shooting. But the rest of it didn't make any sense to me. Like,
I
couldn't
get it,
follow
quite
it.
frankly.
And so, like, once I was watching the clown family and them eating breakfast and the clown police officers, and I'm like, let me just listen to the words because the imagery isn't making any sense to me. And then I couldn't follow the words. I'm like, I'm trying to put it together.
From best I can tell, he's saying night's about to come and all this stupidity, all this clowning around is about to stop. That's the best I can make out of it. I could be wrong. Quite frankly, I didn't get it. But at about 6, 7 in the morning, Donald Trump saw it.
Of course.
And while he's supposed to be...
This is the type of stuff he sees.
Okay,
he don't see when the white people come in and killing everybody. He don't talk about nothing like that. The white racist... anyway.
So 7 o'clock in the morning when normal people are getting up, showering, getting dressed, getting ready for work. He's watching Snoop Dogg. And he tweets out, can you imagine what the outcry would be if Snoop Dogg, failing career and all, had aimed and fired the gun at President Obama? Jail time.
Right. And now, but you have to admit, and me and JT talked about this too on our show, I would definitely be pissed. I would definitely be a part.
Now,
so I understand what he's saying.
One of those things like that Sage Steele was talking about where we flip the script. We can take it with him, but if it were Obama,
right.
He's right.
And I'm not even saying I can take it with Snoop Dogg because I don't think it was the right thing to do. You already know how this is going to play out. You know who you're dealing with. Racism is almost at its peak. Even though we said, I just said we've progressed, it still feels very hot and heavy in the situation.
We've come back.
So what kind of tone America has right now. And I just feel like that just wasn't the right move. Like, you don't have to like this man. I don't like him. I don't give a damn about him. And I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who think I should respect, him and the presidency. I will respect it when he respects it and not anytime sooner. Yeah. I just think it was very poor taste. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. T.I.
Oh, yeah.
See, T.I. didn't particularly care for Trump's
He doesn't
tweet.
care for him at all.
So he says, Snoop Dogg is a fucking legend, you fucking tangerine tan, muskrat, scrotum skin, lace front, possum fur, wig wearing, alternative fact, atomic dog, diarrhea face ass man. Leave our legends names at your fucking old ass puppy piss smelling ass mouth and continue to focus on dividing minorities, building barriers, alienating immigrants, and fucking this country up like you've been doing. Hashtag you want to be a dictator. Hashtag presidential level fuckboy. Okay.
That was a lot.
I saw that and all I could say was, okay.
Yeah.
It's just like, what do you say?
Somebody is definitely not feeling 45.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Hey, you can say what you want to say. I don't. I mean, I don't respect the man, and clearly T.I. he doesn't respect
him either. So Bow Wow decided he gonna get in.
Yeah, his was weird.
And he says, "Hey, real Donald Trump, shut your punk ass up, talking shit about my Uncle Snoop Dogg before we pimp your wife and make her work for us." Okay. Well, Twitter didn't like him, so they went in on him.
Yeah. It was like, it was weird.
Then Steve Harvey on his show. He says the problem with all of this is that there's an office in this country called the president, and you have to respect the office. You really do. Whether you want to or not, you have to respect the office. They got laws. I love Snoop, Bow Wow, always respectful and cordial with one another. Me and T.I., I don't have no problem with T.I. I love the dude. I'm just saying, brothers, be smart. You got to be smart. All y'all all y'all talking got money. You got money, man. You got money, and they know how far, or no, they know how to go after that money. Just be smart. Let me tell you, man, leave the first lady out of this. Y'all going down another path with these cats now. You start messing with their wives, I'll tell y'all, you going down another path.
Okay. This is Steve Harvey. So I mean, I
So,
I feel like it was the right
thing.
It was the right thing to say. I would, because he's saying respect the presidency, and the president doesn't respect the presidency. So I understood when T.I. came back at his ass and said we will respect it once he respects it, and he hashtag get out. Basically, the movie that just came out, because Steve Harvey has been, even though you almost understand where he's coming from, because he's on a different level than everybody else. He has money too, and he's still. I feel like he's waiting on some type of promise that he's in the wings to get from Donald Trump. So he's going to be the voice in between us to help calm things down in the black community. Maybe this is what's going on, and this is why he's speaking now. But no, just go ahead and shut up.
To some degree, I understand where he's coming from.
I definitely agree with leaving Melania. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, she should have never even been brought into it. But to some degree, I kind of understand. There has to be a voice at the table. If there's no voice at the table, then we're not getting our message isn't getting heard. Period. There has to be a voice. So, to some degree, if he wants to be that voice, then you got to play the game, and I get it. Okay, if that's the path he chooses, so be it.
Who are you talking about? Steve Harvey?
Steve Harvey.
Okay.
However, this is my point. Well, the video wasn't a big deal to me. Like I said, I didn't get it. But if it were Obama, I'd have been pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just
we've seen caricatures of President Obama.
Right,
we've seen the crazy things that they've
really
done to him
stop and
too.
think, if it was a white metal band doing this, we would be all screaming racism. White metal band and Obama at the end of the gun, we would all be screaming racism, and we know we would.
Yeah.
So I get it.
I'll be the first.
I get it. To me, I don't think it was an appropriate message. So what I want to say here is that, to all my black brothers and sisters, be careful how you express your anger. Be careful how you express your frustration and your annoyances, because that man, unfortunately, is sitting in one of the most powerful seats in this country. And if he decides that you're the one he wants to come after, or if anybody in his lovely little campaign or anywhere decide they want to come after you, they will put you in jail. And you know how jail has been for our people. So, I mean, if you want to go down that path, just know your action could lead you into a place you really don't want to be in. And you won't have anybody to blame but yourself, because you chose that action. Okay? So I want to say that. But now, everybody else, anybody that's not black, that does not identify with black ancestry at any point.
So you're saying like black people and Rachel Dolezal, like everybody else? You're talking about everybody else besides them?
Besides Rachel Dolezal. I am a woman who believes that everyone should be respected. Everyone should be respected until they show you that they don't deserve respect.
Okay.
And this man, okay, I'm going to try to be nice here, has done nothing but disrespect everybody in the world.
Right.
That is not a white man with money. He has disrespected every single other person. He does not get my respect. Okay? So I think that's why this doesn't bother me, because he's disrespected so many people. He disrespected the freaking Pope.
Yeah.
Okay.
He does on many occasions.
So he don't get my respect. I'm not getting ready to raise a child to respect, not him. I do respect, however, the office of the President of the United States. I do respect that. So I'm not going to do anything crazy and disrespect myself. But him, I don't care about him. I don't care what happens to him.
It's almost, you can't even see the office of the presidency without seeing him.
It's very difficult, but it's there. I know it's there. It's still oval and it's just under his hair, but it's there. I respect that office.
Under his hair.
Anyway.
Look at you trying to make a joke.
So I'm going to be respectful and do the one thing my mama said: when you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. That only lasts so long with me and Agent Orange. But my black people, just be careful what you say and what you do, because I'd like you to stay out of jail. I'd like you to be able to raise your families and have your life. And everybody else, don't expect me to respect him because he definitely does not respect me.
Exactly.
I feel better now.
Do you?
So anyway, you got anything else for me?
I do not.
Oh man.
Oh,
Put on
I did.
excellence?
I did. I meant to remind me next time. I want to shout out the person who recommended that we called it, what was it, Black Achievements and Excellence or something like that. I'll get it right for the next one. But I did have one. It was a shout out to twin brothers Alex and Jeremy Dozier, who have in their high school, like I said, they're twins. What school are they going to? Calera High School, and they're valedictorian and salutatorian. So they're number 1 and number 2 in their class, in their high school graduating class. So, shout out to them. Both, I think they both have a 4.3 and a 4.33 or something like that. But doing big things.
Good for them. I wonder what the competition is like in their house.
It has to be, high.
Really?
But this stood out to me because I was salutatorian in my high school. That was a long time ago. I ain't trying to get no accolades for that. But I'm like, somebody doing boss things like I used to do. Now I'm a pinball salutatorian.
Yeah, now that's what you do, pinball and video games.
But yeah, shout out to them.
Congratulations. And on that note, we're going to wrap up. But before we wrap up, I have a question that I want our listeners to just kind of get in on, So basically, this is for the listeners more so than a conversation for you and I. The listeners can get involved on this. You can either just kind of post to Facebook, or you can definitely post below in the comment section. So, but here's my question. So I saw this video today of this new thing in Australia. It is a baby spa. And it is for newborn babies to 6 months old. You pay $85 and the babies get massages, and they get to sit in some kind of relaxing pool. And the pool is supposed to, get them to help them learn how to use their little limbs and all of that. But they got people giving them a little back massages and their little fingers and their little toes massage. I mean, it's just like I would pay $85 to go to the spa for me. You do this for your 3-month-old.
You want to know my answer?
Yes, you're more than welcome to share it to the people. Would you take your child?
No, absolutely not. That's $85. You know what I can do with $85?
What?
A lot. A lot. That's a couple video games. And I could all you got to do is like tickle the baby and they good. That's all babies want, to be tickled.
But it's supposed to help them deal with the stress of being born.
If you don't get out of here.
Hey, it's not my pitch.
Stress.
However.
They don't even know.
No. However, I hear that can be a stressful thing. And I've just heard this in the past from doctors. But I mean, think about it. You nice, you warm in this cozy little sack. It's pretty much dark in there. You hear a few little sounds here and there. You hear your mama's voice. You in a good spot. And all of a sudden, something happens and something pushes you out. These little eyes open. There's bright things all around. There's this doctor saying, oh, look at it. And somebody smacks you on your ass.
Hey, for some people, that's a Saturday night.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, what I think about this is simply this. That's mommy and me time. That's daddy and me time.
Yeah.
$85 for you to give me a massage. Mommy can do that. Daddy can do that. That's time that I could be spending with my mom and dad. That's time in the pool, learning how to use my limbs. That's time you're taking away from the parent, and that parent and child connection. You pay $85 to give somebody else, to let somebody else have a connection with your child that you should be having.
I can see that. I didn't even think about that.
No, you just mad at the $85.
$85. I can do a lot.
So please give us your responses. Tell us how you feel. Join us in the conversation. And thank you for watching listening to Keep It Moving podcast. Have a good one.
Peace.
Shut up.
You know that watching ain't coming.